Hi, I'm Kenzie. I am 26 years old and I have had anxiety and OCD since my very first thoughts as being a kid. Throughout my life, OCD has been my biggest superpower, but also my worst enemy. OCD allows me to be very obsessive over things and get things done, but it also can be very controlling, very scary, and very alienating. Anxiety has been something that I have gone up and down with my entire life. There's been times in my life when it's been very strong and other times where it's been very managed. I would say it was the strongest between the ages of probably like 12 and 18. I would have crazy panic attacks that resembled an asthma attack. My anxiety can be very physical. My parents did pretty much everything they possibly could to help manage my anxiety, which was to an extent helpful, but nothing has ever touched my anxiety or my OCD like CES has. When I first discovered CES, I was actually at the absolute worst place possible mentally. I was beyond anxious. I was having panic attacks multiple times a day. I wasn't anxious about anything in particular, but they were just this whole visceral response of this wave of adrenaline and anxiety. My OCD was skyrocketed. I had compulsions I had to do, so different rituals that I had to do for something bad not to happen. About 80% of my day was being controlled by anxiety or OCD. When I first discovered CES, I thought it was an absolute wonderful idea. The science behind CES just blew my mind and it seemed like maybe the missing piece. So I dove right into CES. I used it really consistently and within about a week, I had got my panic attacks away from multiple times a day to about like once every day or every other day, which sounds like a lot still, but it was absolutely life-changing at that point. Within a couple of weeks of using it consistently, I was able to function again. I returned back to work. I was able to have a social life. I felt calm for the first time probably in my entire life. And I really could feel like that acute crisis stage was gone. It was like this huge wave of tension and stress and panic, and it just had kind of been relieved. I probably still have some level of anxious thinking, but in my entire 26 years of living, this is the most OCD and anxiety-free that I've ever been. I would say I'm in a maintenance phase now, and therefore I just use CES, just part of just healthy living. The one thing about CES is it's so discreet, so portable. I can bring it absolutely anywhere. As I'm out for dinner, as I'm in a social group, you can just plug it on your ears. I have never experienced any negative side effects from CES. It has only brought wonderful things to my life, but I do notice immediate results. As soon as I plug it on my ears, I do feel my nervous system just automatically come down and I only feel more calm. I can take fuller breaths, I can think more clearly, and I feel very present in my body. It's hard being a human right now. So I think every household should have a CES device just to help with whether it's just day-to-day stresses at work or if it is a crisis type situation. The price of CES is less than 2 talk therapy sessions, which is incredible. It's something that you have forever, and you can use CES while using these other modalities as well, whether it is medication, whether it is therapy. If you experience any symptoms of like what I talked about today, or if what I said really resonates with you, please consider using CES to support your mental health. I can honestly say that CES has completely changed my life. CES has really helped me learn that anxiety is not who I am. Anxiety was something that I experienced and I felt very heavily for a large chunk of my life, but I now know that it's over here. I'm over here and I am my own person and my own personality, and anxiety is just something that I experience. I didn't have a good quality of life with anxiety and OCD, and I feel like I have that now. I feel like I can truly live and be alive thanks to CES.